What you're about to witness is a film like no other. A film that continues to captivate and frighten the minds of many. So join me as we enter the many faces of death.
My many years of studying and watching film has helped me determine that there are some films out there with the intention to disturb you as much as possible. The most controversial films with this topic are 1980's Cannibal Holocaust, a Serbian film, and also the Human Centipede trilogy. In my opinion, however, those films have nothing on the film that I'm going to be showing you today. 1978's Faces of Death. Faces of Death is a 1978 Mondo/Shockumentary film directed by John Alan Schwartz. Before we begin, I will say that while no graphic footage will be shown in this video, I will tell you that the topics covered in this will probably be disturbing to my more squeamish viewers. So if you are more squeamish and always have an upset stomach, even just listening about this stuff, I suggest you click off this video now. But if you dare to continue your journey with me, join me as we talk about Faces of Death. After performing a surgery which will not be shown for obvious reasons, Dr. Francis B. Gross, played by Michael Carr, begins his opening monologue for the film.
Unfortunately, medical science cannot always have success. The moment death occurs, my expertise is called upon.
He then begins to explain to us, the audience, what we are about to be watching.
And over the past 20 years, I have compiled a library of the many faces of death. My travels have taken me all over the world, searching for the various situations that have dealt with our ultimate end.
He then begins to explain how he has had a reoccurring dream of a young woman's funeral service. According to him, the only faces he remembers is the woman's and a priest. He states that this dream marked a beginning in which would take him down the journey of the many faces of death. After traveling to a state in Mexico, we then see multiple mummies, all wrapped up and dead, of course. Then we cut to a vicious pit bull fight, which I obviously cannot show, so I'll play the audio over John Travolta dancing.
The dogfight can last as long as 2 hours. Bets are made at the beginning of the brawl, and a trainer can make as much as $5,000 from a single bout.
Thankfully, this scene was later proved to be staged by the cast and crew. After about 20 minutes of animal deaths and them killing each other, we then cut to what is arguably the most infamous scene of the entire movie. A monkey is placed and strapped down on a table, where the guests then take little mallets and begin beating the monkey over the head. They then have a chef come out and take the brains out. They then also begin munching on the brains, stating that supposedly in this country it is a delicacy and it gets you closer to God. You know, I'm really not seeing that in here. Thankfully, once again, it was later proven to be staged, but very disturbing and a very convincing effect to say the least. After about 5 minutes of poachers killing animals and also a man getting chomped on by an alligator, we then see an assassination. Right after that, we then have an interview with an assassin who states he does not kill for political or social reasons, but strictly for money. So basically what they're trying to say is he's like me for real. We then have footage of a scene that most people refer to as the Lawrence family murders, where police are in a gunfight with a man named Mike Lawrence, who had recently just killed his family. They throw in tear gas, and that causes him to come out, where he is then shot to death. I don't know why this is seen as such an abnormal thing. I mean, all this is just a normal day in St. Louis, Missouri. We then see footage of a LA coroner's office.
And your ass ain't seeing none of it.
But if you really want to, the whole movie's on YouTube for whatever reason, so.
Then, of course, we have another very famous scene of a man on death row, in which he is then electrocuted in the electric chair.
Long story short, there is this one orgy scene, which I'm not even going to show literally anything of, just because there's already chicks with their titties out and everything by the time the scene starts. So there is then footage of people who have drowned and their bodies have washed up on shore.
Then we have footage of guys pulling out a dead body in a cave, and then we have the infamous bear scene.
And people think the scene itself is horrific. I just think the acting is horrific.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Ah! A bear is attacking you!
I mean, that is up there with that alligator scene in Faces of Death 3.
Oh shit, look what they done to him!
Oh shit, look what they done to him!
Also, I'm going to point this out now. Literally, like, the remaining 30 minutes of this movie is extremely graphic and real footage, so I literally can't show anything here. So, that was Faces of Death. I mean, sure, Faces of Death is nowhere near controversial today as it was back in the 70s and 80s. However, that does not deny the impact that Faces of Death had on the VHS markets, especially in the 80s and 90s. I think Faces of Death is a film that really makes you think about the scenes of which is real and which is fake. It really makes the human mind actually think about that kind of stuff, even though you don't want to. It's a film you want to keep watching, but you also want to turn off at the same time. Overall, Faces of Death, I think, is worth a watch. Faces of Death is definitely a film that squeamish people or people who are easily repulsed should not watch. However, if you aren't, I definitely recommend you give Faces of Death at least one watch. And that is episode 1 of BEAU and Movies. I hope you